Chicago streets are buzzing, and the drill world is in shock. Q50, one of the city's hottest young rappers, was allegedly targeted in a brutal St. Louis attack, and new footage suggests the nightmare did not end there. Who set him up? Why did it happen? And can Q50 survive the violence that seems to follow him everywhere? Stay with me, because the truth behind this story is more twisted and dangerous than you could ever imagine. Prayers go out to Q50. We just heard the shocking news that the Chicago rapper was allegedly shot in St. Louis. And if that was not enough, new footage has emerged showing him being attacked again in the hospital. It is hard to believe, and the streets are buzzing with questions about who is really behind this and whether Q50 will make it out alive. The story started spreading on August 17, 2025, when word hit that bloodhound Q50, one of Chicago's hottest young drill artists, had been targeted in St. Louis. By 4 p.m., social media was on fire with posts about his car being shot up. Panic, rumors, and speculation spread quickly online, leaving fans and the hip-hop community desperate to separate fact from fiction. One post by @LashyBills on X painted a chilling picture of the violence that had unfolded. According to the report, Q50's black truck had been hit with over 60 Draco bullets, leaving the vehicle on flats and completely destroyed. The sheer volume of firepower suggested this was no random robbery or minor dispute. It was a deliberate and highly organized attack. Social media posts speculated that Q50 may have accidentally exposed his location on Instagram, a dangerous slip that put him directly in harm's way. In the drill scene, where movements are carefully calculated, a single misstep like this can quickly turn deadly. The motive behind the attack appeared tied to money, though the exact details remained murky. Some claimed the shooting stemmed from $60,000 allegedly taken from a St. Louis artist, while others suggested it involved unpaid debts or stolen jewelry. The specifics were unclear, but what was obvious was that whatever the reason, tensions had escalated into violent retaliation. This kind of rapid escalation has become all too common in modern drill culture, where respect and reputation are tightly intertwined with survival. In this environment, every action can carry consequences that extend far beyond the streets. For rising artists like Q50, even minor disputes can spiral into life-threatening situations. Social media, intended for promotion and connection, often becomes a tool that adversaries can exploit. Every post, story, or check-in can potentially expose vulnerabilities. What might have started as a disagreement over money or property quickly evolved into a calculated attempt to assert dominance, send a message, and establish street credibility. Ultimately, the attack on Q50 was a stark reminder of the dangers that come with navigating the drill scene. In a world where digital visibility meets real-world conflict, survival often depends on strategy, awareness, and the ability to anticipate threats before they escalate into violence. On Sunday morning, the reality of the situation hit like a ton of bricks. Q50, along with 3 or 4 others, had been shot in a brutal attack, their vehicle disabled and riddled with bullet holes. Reports indicated that all victims were in critical condition, their lives hanging in the balance. Social media quickly became flooded with speculation, and the alleged shooters, St. Louis rappers CTS Lou Wick and Houdini, reportedly claimed responsibility online, leaving the streets buzzing with tension and uncertainty. CTS Lou Wick, whose real name is Michael Henderson, was no stranger to serious trouble. At just 19 years old, he had already faced first-degree murder charges for a 2022 road rage shooting. He ultimately beat the case in January 2024 by claiming self-defense, a victory that underscored his ability to survive even the most serious legal battles. Lou Wick's history painted a clear picture. This was not someone who simply talked tough in his lyrics or social media posts. He had a real reputation, a track record that made him a credible threat in the streets. The shooting itself sent shockwaves through both St. Louis and Chicago, as drill fans and street observers struggled to separate fact from rumor. The incident highlighted the deadly intersection of online beefs, street loyalty, and the music industry's influence in real-world conflicts. For Q50, a rising star in the drill scene, the The attack was a grim reminder of the constant dangers that come with visibility and success. Beyond the immediate violence, the situation underscored a broader reality. Modern drill culture, with its combination of social media exposure and street rivalries, leaves little room for mistakes. One wrong post, one miscalculated encounter, and lives can be irrevocably changed. In this world, survival is as much about awareness, composure, and strategy as it is about talent and ambition. The conflict between Q50 and CTS Luwick reportedly began online, but quickly spilled into the real world. In modern drill culture, social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter often turn into battlegrounds where respect and reputation are at stake. Backing down is seen as weakness, and in the streets, weakness can be deadly. According to street sources, Q50 was lured to St. Louis under false pretenses, possibly a fake show or a bogus meeting, leaving him exposed to what appeared to be a carefully planned hit. Rumors suggest that the attackers had been plotting the move, waiting for the right moment to strike. This was not Q50's first encounter with gun violence. He had survived a previous shooting, an event he openly discussed in interviews, describing how it left him traumatized. Yet despite all this, he remains a young king navigating the dangerous intersection of music, fame, and the streets. But looking back, Q50 thinks he might not have been the main target. "I do not think I was the intended target," he said. His focus in that moment was clear: do not panic. That is his number one rule in life. Even facing gunfire, he knew losing control would only make things worse. Despite being shot, Q50 stayed composed, showing the kind of street intelligence that only comes from growing up in Chicago's toughest neighborhoods. The bullets remained in him. They could not be removed, but this permanent reminder became both a badge of survival and a warning of how quickly conflicts can escalate beyond words or online posts. Q50's list of enemies went far beyond the St. Louis incident. His aggressive style and rising fame had earned him rivals across different crews, including a noted clash with YFG Fatso, showing how quickly social media feuds could turn serious. In the drill scene, respect is everything, and failing to defend it can make you a target. Rumors of tension with Chicago rapper Billionaire Black also circulated, though Q50 dismissed them. "I do not really know the story," he said, showing his awareness that perception often outweighs reality in this world. Legal troubles added another layer to his conflicts. In 2025, Q50 received a one-year sentence for possessing a modified weapon capable of fully automatic fire. This highlighted the dangerous mix of street life and artistic expression common in drill music. Controversial content in his videos was sometimes exaggerated or staged for attention. Q50 admitted, "It was like the movies, powder, not real drugs," showing how carefully drill artists navigate the line between reality and performance. After the St. Louis shooting rumors spread, cracks in the story began to appear. Q50 posted on Instagram, laughing off reports and sharing images suggesting he was alive and active. Reports even placed him at St. Louis Airport and participating in basketball activities, making the shooting claims seem exaggerated. Neither the local police nor news outlets confirmed the incident, adding to the suspicion. People believed the story so quickly because Q50 was already embroiled in a street war that had claimed his best friend, Lil Jeff. Q50 and Jeff, who are cousins, reconnected as teenagers during a formative period when young men start figuring out their path in life. This bond became a lifeline. Born Cooper on August 6, 2004, Q50's early years were unstable. Raised mostly by his grandmother while his teenage mother finished school, he moved between Chicago and Gary, Indiana, never finding a stable foundation. His father was largely absent, a gap that fueled both his music and his loyalty to those who truly cared for him. "I never really missed that connection," he said. Instead, he found brotherhood in Lil Jeff, who became both cousin and big brother. Together, they discovered a shared passion for music. While Jeff was already gaining recognition in Chicago's drill scene, Q50 treated rap initially as a hobby. Jeff pushed him to take it seriously, encouraging him to record solo tracks and recognize his own talent. They created a lot of music together, with Jeff often recording 2 to 3 songs a day, showing the dedication required to succeed. Their relationship went beyond music. "He is like my big brother," Q50 said. "We live together, wake up together, and have each other's back no matter what." This daily connection forged a bond that went beyond family, one strong enough to survive even the harshest trials of life and death. The bond between Q50 and Lil Jeff quickly earned them respect in Chicago's drill scene. Their talent caught the attention of rapper Lil BBY, who signed both cousins to his Signal Records label in 2024. This deal was a major milestone. It validated Jeff's belief in their potential and gave Q50 his first taste of real industry recognition. But their rise was violently interrupted on June 8, 2024, when tragedy struck. Lil Jeff was shot and killed, an event that would forever change Q50's life and music. "Did you break down and cry when Jeff got killed?" asked one. "Yeah," Q50 admitted. "That's probably the most I ever cried in my life." For someone who had learned to navigate Chicago's streets with emotional armor, this loss revealed a deep vulnerability. Even his #1 rule, "do not panic," fell apart in that moment. "I was going crazy," he said, struggling to comprehend what had happened. Until Jeff's death, Q50 had not taken music seriously. But the tragedy forced him to step up. The pressure to honor Jeff's memory and continue their musical partnership pushed Q50 to commit to his craft fully. Just over a month later, on July 26, 2024, he released Splash Brothers, featuring posthumous verses from Lil Jeff. The track went viral, earning over 2 million Spotify streams. It became a tribute to their friendship and a declaration that Q50 would carry on their shared vision, even without his cousin. The losses did not stop there. Q50 battled depression, trying to cope on his own, and within a month, another close friend, Lil Scoom, was killed. Facing the deaths of 2 friends in such a short time, Q50 considered leaving Chicago for safer cities like Atlanta or Miami. Loyalty and connection to his neighborhood kept him rooted despite the danger. Success in music came, but it was bittersweet. Tracks like Don't Blink or Stare hit over 10 million Spotify streams, proving his solo career could thrive. In April 2025, he released his debut album, Long Live My Brother, a heartfelt tribute to Lil Jeff that showcased both his growth as an artist and his unwavering loyalty. Even as his career advanced, Q50 knew his achievements felt incomplete without the cousin who had first believed in him. The story of Q50 and Lil Jeff is more than family or music. It represents the complex mix of loyalty, loss, and survival in Chicago's drill scene. Jeff's death transformed Q50 from a reluctant rapper into a driven artist with a mission to honor his cousin while building his own legacy. The success that followed is a reminder of what was lost and what might have been if violence had not cut their partnership short. Understanding their story also requires examining the broader context of gang warfare in Chicago. Drill music has become both a reflection of street violence and, according to critics, a catalyst for further bloodshed. Each death in the scene is not just an individual tragedy, but part of a systemic cycle of retaliation that has claimed a generation of young kings before they could reach their full potential. Chicago's gang landscape has changed dramatically since the 1960s and 1970s. The structured hierarchies of groups like the Gangster Disciples, Black Disciples, Vice Lords, and Black P-Stones have fragmented into smaller, more volatile crews. These smaller crews, often bound by geography, family ties, and shared experiences of violence, make disputes more personal and more deadly. The Bloodhound 079 gang, with which Q50 and Lil Jeff were affiliated, represents this new generation of street organizations. Unlike older gangs, these crews function more like loose networks than strict hierarchies. The ongoing war between Bloodhound and Trap City, which claimed Lil Jeff's life, shows how modern conflicts can escalate from even minor incidents, trapping young artists in cycles of violence they did not fully create. The chain of events that led to tragedy often starts small. In 2023, Lil Jeff allegedly took a chain from Trap City's veil. In the past, Disputes like this might have been solved with a sit-down or a controlled confrontation, but today's fractured gang landscape turned it into the first domino in a deadly chain reaction. Lives would be lost over it. The tattoo over Q50's eyebrow honoring Zoni, a close crew member killed in March 2023 after being shot 29 times, serves as a permanent reminder of the steep price loyalty demands in the Bloodhound crew. Drill music has become inseparable from this cycle of violence. Artists use it to memorialize fallen friends, diss rivals, and assert credibility, but the line between music and real-life retaliation often blurs. Lil Jeff's story is disturbingly common in Chicago. FBG Duck, killed in 2020 in the Gold Coast after years of feuds and online beefs, shows how success and distance cannot protect artists from street vendettas. Similarly, King Von's death in Atlanta revealed that Chicago's conflicts can follow artists thousands of miles from home. Young Dolph's murder in Memphis further demonstrated how these patterns spread beyond the city. Incarcerated often come to see violence as an inevitable part of life. Trauma becomes normalized, creating cycles that repeat across generations. For these young people, armed conflict is treated as a standard way to assert identity and protect respect. There is a clear divide between generations in Chicago. On one side, older, more responsible trappers try to make sense of life in the streets and invest in their communities. On the other side, younger artists, caught up in drugs and recklessness, often spiral out of control. Figures like Trap City Rob have openly spoken about the dangers of street life, advocating for conscious choices and community investment while refusing to condone violence. Some artists, like G Herbo, have tried to use their platform to address mental health and provide alternatives to street life through programs like Swervin' Through Stress. Yet these efforts face uphill battles, as systemic issues like poverty, lack of opportunity, and violence continue to dominate daily life. Artists who speak out for peace are sometimes criticized for selling out or abandoning the streets that made them. Drill music's international reach has added another layer of complexity. Regional rivalries now cross city lines, as seen in the alleged involvement of St. Louis rappers and threats against Q50. Conflicts that start locally can escalate far beyond their original neighborhoods, demonstrating how connected and volatile the drill scene has become. The legal system also struggles to address these issues. Laws like RICO target entire crews, often using musical content as evidence. While these prosecutions can remove dangerous individuals, they do little to address the root causes of conflict, leaving the conditions that create violence largely unchanged. Violence in drill music is often glorified as proof of authenticity. Artists can feel pressured to live up to their lyrics, putting themselves at real risk. Q50 references this in his music, "My homie died chasing somebody." These lyrics become badges of honor, a way to show loyalty and toughness, even as they reflect genuine loss. The story of Q50, Lil Jeff, and the Bloodhound crew is only one chapter in a much larger story of urban violence in Chicago. Hundreds of young lives have been claimed by this cycle. Their experiences reflect systemic inequality, failing social institutions, and the strong influence of street credibility in communities where conventional paths to success are often blocked.